What's going on, guys? I keep getting these obscene phone calls. They're like telling me like to check my children, and I'm like, why? Why you want me to check them? They're right over there. They're not even doing anything. I don't know how you got this number, buddy, but I'm pretty sure you got the wrong house because my kids ain't in bed. They ain't sleeping, and they're over there being obnoxious. So I know you ain't talking about my kids, and if you are, please come and take them away because they're driving me crazy. Today, because of a man named Lee McCoy from Drum Dums talking about When a Stranger Calls and how he hasn't seen it in a very long time, that got me to thinking. I haven't seen that movie in probably 15 years. Not since 2006 when it came out. Saw it with the missus before we were married. You know, little young kids in love. The year I graduated high school. In the middle of the remake craze. And then this one was just kind of like, lost in the shuffle. So I had to go back, thanks to Lee, I had to go back and rewatch this bad boy last night. And I must say, it really does scare little kids because my 5-year-old and my 7-year-old were with me watching it, and they wanted me to, the 5-year-old wanted to keep watching. The 7-year-old wanted me to turn it off because he was getting freaked out. Which very shocked me because he enjoys Halloween, he enjoys Friday the 13th, Child's Play, Scream. But this movie was freaking him out. And that got me to thinking, I gotta do a review for this. I gotta talk about it. So this movie's from 2006, obviously a remake of the original When a Stranger Calls. This movie stars Camilla Bell, Brian Garrity, Katie Cassidy, who was in other movies such as Black Christmas. The Black Christmas remake. She was also in a Nightmare on Elm Street remake. You might remember her way back when she was in Degrassi, a Canadian little teeny bopper sitcom, which I did watch because my wife liked it, so we did watch it. Don't sue me. But yeah, it has a great young cast, a very pretty cast is what you would say. But if you're looking for a movie with gore, blood, guts, that kind of thing, this isn't for you. This is usually on the opposite end of the spectrum for me. This is the mood, the atmosphere, the tension, the suspense. And I gotta say, upon rewatch, you really felt for this girl. You really felt for her. Jill Johnson, the main character, kept the same name from the original, which I have not seen, by the way, so I gotta get on that. But definitely, this movie is filled with tension and suspense. The house that's in this film that it's based in is beautiful and creepy at the same time. Motion sensor lights as you go through, just the general atmosphere. We got the leaves blowing outside, the wind, the darkness, the fog, in that little like aviary room. Everything, it really works. It really goes together very nicely. Like I said, you're not going to get the bloody, gutsy, gory kills in this film. That's not what this is about, and I don't think that's what they were going for. But if you're looking to introduce someone to horror for the very first time, like Lee said in his review, this might be the way to go. It's a little bit softer, a little bit lighter. I don't believe there's any swearing in this film, and if there is, it's very limited. Like I said, there's no graphic violence. Obviously, it is implied that the killer did a few things, which we never learn his actual name. He's just kind of the killer. Got nice little scars on his face. He's definitely creepy and definitely great at stalking and playing with his food, per se. Definitely reminded me a little bit of Black Christmas and Billy, obviously, with the phone calls. Obviously, taking a little bit from that. So definitely, my pros for this film definitely would be the suspense, the atmosphere of the film, just the way it went about, the whole situation. Like, you're literally on the edge of your seat for this girl. You don't know when the killer is going to pop out. You don't know where he is. She doesn't know where he is. She doesn't even know if there is one throughout this film until, signs keep pointing to, something isn't quite right here. Once he says, have you checked the children? She goes and checks on him, and then he's like, how are the children? She knows that someone is watching her. So she's been in contact with the police multiple times. They said there's nothing really they can do about it unless he's threatening her or he's actually physically there. Which obviously the cops finally do believe her and do show up, but she has to, stick up and fight for these kids throughout the later part of this film, which she does a great job. She is protecting them no matter what, making sure they are safe, and then she'll worry about herself, which speaks admirably about the character in this film. I thought Camilla Bell did a great job. You know, being a remake, they just wanted to throw in a bunch of pretty people, which they did. Katie Cassidy, love seeing her on screen. She's an amazing actress. I do think maybe the acting was a little bit suspect, a little bit, I don't know, unbelievable at times. Could have been better. But I mean, going through that is, I don't even know how old she was, maybe a 17-year-old girl in high school. Going through that situation, you don't know how she's going to react, if she's going to be flighty and screaming and, you know, being distracting the whole movie, or if she's going to actually remain calm, take the situation as an adult, and make rational decisions, which is what she did. So, you know, some people might see it one way, some people might see it another, but that could be listed as a pro or a con. Honestly, this movie has a 9% on Rotten Tomatoes. A 9%. Probably one of the lowest movies I've ever seen on Rotten Tomatoes. Does it deserve a 9%? I'm going to say no. If I'm going to give this a rating out of 5 stars, honestly, upon rewatch, I'd probably give it at least a 3 out of 5. It did enough to scare my younger kids, so obviously there is an audience for this. I just don't think it found the right one, and I think it just got lost in the shuffle of all the remakes going on back in the 2000s. People just kind of forgot about it. And the fact that most horror people, you know, they want the blood and guts, and this doesn't deliver. So I could see why people, you know, tend to think this is a bad remake and not a very good horror movie. And a lot of people don't like that PG-13 horror. I'm not one of those people either, but I think it worked in this instance because it was based around the mood, the tension, the atmosphere. So it worked. Wish we would have got a little bit more from the killer. The phone calls were kind of like he literally just phoned it in. Nothing special. Wishing we could have got a little bit more creepiness in the phone calls instead of, you know, have you checked the children? And then I just don't think the lines were delivered as good as they could have been. But probably my favorite scene in this whole movie is whenever they turn on the sprinklers and you know, obviously Jill is super smart. If she turns on the sprinklers that he can't see, fogs up, steams up, great decision. Probably the best part of that whole movie right there. I would have to say. Very enjoyable. Hiding the kid. She's hiding under the dock. Reminded me a lot of Friday the 13th remake. Obviously, he knows she's there somewhere. It just takes him a little bit of time to find her, and you don't know when exactly she's going to find her. So I think that scene really works, and I really enjoyed it. But if you haven't seen this movie in a long time, definitely go back and rewatch it. It is a little bit... It is a slow burn, which is not what I'm usually into, but it worked this time. I had a really good time with it. The kids were liking it, so maybe that's why I enjoyed it a little bit more this time. So definitely give it another shot. You know, don't go in expecting a gore fest. Just go in expecting to be on the edge of your seat, wondering when the hell this guy's going to show up and what is he going to do to these kids. Because they don't show what he did to the girl in the beginning of the movie, so you're like, holy shit, he didn't even have a weapon. He just used his bare hands to do whatever's on the other side of that camera lens that we cannot see. All theater of the mind crap. Thank you, Dave McRae. And speaking of Dave McRae, if you have not, check out myself and James. We did a watch along with It's Me, Billy, and Dave McRae was there to take part in it. It was a great ass time. I'll definitely leave a card up here somewhere for this at the end of this video. So definitely, if you have not already, hit the like button for me. Hit that subscribe button. Share the video if you're feeling crazy. And if you want to support the channel in any way, I left a link to buy me a coffee down in the description box below. And let me know your thoughts on this film. Have you watched it recently? What did you think about it upon first watch? And I think you guys should give it a rewatch. I really do. I think you'll have a better time with it again. That's all I got for today. You keep being scary out there, everybody. And Slay at Night's coming very, very soon. Okay, not soon. In like a year or so. But have a scary day.